Hello everyone, this is Henriette here from Pro-Am Strings. In this lesson today we're practicing She'll Be Coming Round the Mountain, which is exercise 129 on page 36 in your book. In this lesson we have got three different note values. One is the quarter note, in England we call these the crotchets. Then we've got eighth notes, which in England we call quavers, and then we've got long notes, and the long note I'm going to call long for now because you add all the values of the notes together in this song, but they are really a whole note and a half note together. In England we call it a semibreve and a minim together. Now let's have a look at that long note for a start. The whole note lasts for 4 counts. And then the half note lasts for 2. So this long note, when it comes, you hold for 6 counts. We don't count to 6, we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, so that we recognize the place in each measure, in each bar of those notes. So all I want you to know for now, that it is a total of 6 counts. Now when we've got 3 different note values, we have to accommodate for those note values on the bow. And of course the long note, the 6 count note, we are going to play on the whole bow. That means that the quarter notes, the crotchets, we're going to play on a half bow, and the eighth notes, the quavers, we're going to play on very short sections of bow. So you might think a quarter of the bow, and they are either at the lower half of the bow right here, or they might appear in the middle of the bow sort of there, or they might even appear right here. The amount of bow that you use depends on what sort of note values you've got in your piece. Some people say quarter notes, I've always got to play with the whole bow. That is not necessarily true. Yes, it was true when you first started to learn to play the violin, but by now you've become so much more experienced that this will be a little bit more subtle and a bit better defined. So that's what we're doing today. Let's play this slowly now. Please feel free to join in with me if you like, and I'll count us in for 2. We're starting right at the heel of the bow. 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now we're retaking the bow, we're going back to the heel. 3, 4, 1, 2. Retake the bow. 1, 2. And you see, when I control the bow in the way we've discussed earlier, the notes fit really beautifully on the bow, and I end up playing the last note. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. You see? Now let's think a little bit more deeply about this last note and all the long notes in your music. This last note you want to bow very, very slowly in order to fit those 6 counts on the bow. But there is a risk that you start to bounce your bow, to shake your arm, if you don't relax your upper arm. So let's practice just the last note. And what I'd like you to do is drop your shoulder and drop your upper arm so that you're trying to relax that bow arm. Now at the same time, you want to make sure that you stretch your bow arm forward so that you don't end up here, which is when my hand has gone too far to the right, but you want to end up straight in front of you with your bow. So let's practice that. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And now you can see my bow is perfectly straight. Can you see that? Had I gone more sideways, my bow would have been angled like that, and that doesn't give you good sound. So if you feel your bow slipping here on the string, that is the most likely cause of it. So what you want to do more of is point your bow arm forwards. Now what I'd like you to practice with me in this piece as well is how to count this piece. So I'm just going to put my violin away. Now when you look at the time signature here, it says 4/4 time, which means there are 4 quarter notes in each bar. If you look at the first measure though, there are only 2 notes, and if you pretend that this is a whole full bar, they are beats 3 and 4. So this is why I counted us in for 2 before the start. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the melody of this song, you've noticed, starts on the 3rd beat. And that is something to bear in mind, because that is the reason why we retake the bow right here and right here. Because that is the start of a new phrase in music, and that is what we want to emphasize. So let's play the song again, and we'll go slightly faster, and we'll see if we can retake the bow and then really emphasize that the new phrase is starting on those 3rd beats. 1, 2. You see, and suddenly when you are realizing that this melody starts on 3/4, you get more structure in your playing and your performance becomes a more musical one. So you've done a fantastic job today trying to understand why that happens. So can I suggest that whenever you practice this song, make a habit of counting one of the lines through once or twice, so that you become more experienced in how to count music and it becomes second nature eventually. And that makes you realise how much progress you've made since the start of this course, because this gets a little bit more complicated now and you're doing perfectly well. Well done. So if you're enjoying these lessons, have you already subscribed to the channel, and have you become a member maybe of Henriette's Violin Club? Please do, because it's going to help progress your violin playing. Thank you so much for sticking with me to the end of this video today. I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Goodbye.